guys, my name is Portia. Welcome back to my channel. I want to say welcome to all my new subscribers. Thank you for joining us. And today's video is going to be about why did I choose CRNA over NP and PA. If you're interested in that, stay tuned. Hi guys, so first of all I want to say if you see stuff in the background, please excuse it because I am getting ready to move, so there are things everywhere. And also what I want to do, I want to clarify something first in my past video about my stats. So whenever I applied to Berry, I was missing three things. I was missing my 1 year of ICU experience. So when I applied to Berry, I actually only had 8 months of experience. Berry does require a full year of ICU experience before applying, but I wanted to apply before the end of before the application closed, and it closed September the 1st. So I just wanted to push the application through before it closed. I also was missing my CCRN. I hadn't taken it yet. I was scheduled for it, but I hadn't taken it, and my GRE score was not at their minimum required score. I think they required a 300 or 320. Whatever the case may be, I did not meet those three things whenever I applied to Berry. So I feel like in my last video, I didn't convey that. So I wanted to let you guys know that my stats for Berry compared to Kaiser were not actually the same. Okay, so now let's get into the video. So why did I choose CRNA over NP and PA? So today I went and got lab work done. Well, I actually already had lab work done from a few months back, so I went to the doctor and they completed a form for me based off of those labs. And I saw an NP and she said, well, why did you choose CRNA over NP? She just wanted to know out of, just curiosity. So I've been getting asked that question a lot, so I'm going to talk about it now. So unlike most people, when I started nursing school, I had no idea what a CRNA was. So I can remember the first day of class, of one of our classes, a teacher asked us to go around the room and say what we wanted to do when we graduated. So most of the class said CRNA, and I may have been the only person in the class who did not know what a CRNA was. Honestly, I said, well, what's CRNA? So I remember asking somebody that I was sitting next to, and they told me what CRNA was. I was like, okay, that's cool. I left it there, didn't think any more of it. When I started nursing school, my goal was to become a labor and delivery nurse and become a nurse midwife and a women's health nurse practitioner. That was my goal. However, after the first semester of nursing school, I fell in love with the cardiac system. So I wanted to become a cardiac nurse and eventually become a cardiac ICU nurse and then become a cardiac NP. That was always my goal. However, whenever I graduated and I started on the med-surg floor, I was confused as to what route I wanted to go for a master's degree. Did I want to do education? Did I want to do NP? Did I want to just leave nursing altogether and go the PA route? And if I did NP, what was my specialty? Because I ended up on a orthopedic neurosurgical floor. And what's funny is whenever I applied, I had told them that my interest was cardiac, but I never heard, well, I thought I had never heard from the cardiac nurse manager, but a year later, I get a voicemail on my phone, and the voicemail was from a year back where the cardiac manager did reach out to me. But anyway, it wasn't God's plan, so whatever. So on my floor, we had an NP for ortho, we had an NP for neuro patients. And so I saw firsthand the work that NPs did in the critical care setting. I'm sorry, in the hospital setting. And then when I went to the ICU, 3 of our intensivists were all nurse practitioners. So I got to see different specialties in different areas of nurse practitioners. But when I was about a year in as a nurse on the med-surg floors, whenever I began to research what it is that I wanted to do next, I wasn't in a rush because I know that nursing isn't like my previous degree, like accounting, where I can just get a master's and I'm still dealing with numbers. To become a nurse practitioner or a PA, you're over the care of somebody's life. So I didn't want to rush into doing anything. So I took my time to research. So I researched a lot about nurse practitioners. I observed nurse practitioners at work, and that just did not fit who I was. Um, I think nurse practitioners are really good providers because they have the nursing aspect and they have the provider aspect, which together is a really good mesh. Um, but I just didn't like the idea of still having a whole array of patients. I didn't like the idea of having 40 plus patients at once, or I didn't like the idea of coming up with a plan of care for all these patients, discharging these patients, writing medications for these patients, um, following up with these patients, even as a based on what I watched on YouTube. I didn't like that how the NPs worked in clinics. Also, like saw like anywhere from 15 and 30 patients or more a day. Even if you're specialized, I thought about maybe specializing in dermatology, but again, when I thought about a nurse practitioner, what it just wasn't what I wanted to do. So I decided to research PA. And I realized as a PA, you won't really, as far as I know, and if I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments or send me an email. PAs will always have to be under a physician, whereas for a nurse practitioner, depending on what state, you can become independent. And then you can still you can still open your own company in states where that requires a physician as long as you have a doctor in the building or on your books, right? Or over the facility. So I felt that for a PA's career, to me, I felt was very limiting. But what I did like about a PA is that you do have the ability to specialize in surgical, like becoming a first assist. But then I thought about that, competing with residents, and then do I really want to be in a first assist? I don't know. So I felt like a PA career path was very limited, whereas in an NP it wasn't limited, but the type of day-to-day working in, it just isn't what I liked. So I had to go back to the drawing board for myself and figure out what did I enjoy most about nursing school. What I loved most about nursing school was pathophysiology and pharmacology. I know that NPs deal with that as well, so there's PAs and CRNAs, but CRNAs deal with it on a different level. So when I began to research more about CRNAs, I love the fact that CRNAs, you may have 10 cases in a day, but you have one patient at a time. You're with the patient when they're in their most critical point during surgery. Their body is being cut open. I like that it involves a complex way of critical thinking. It's like brain exercise, you know. And the more I learned about it, I began to have a passion for it. And then I was hit by a dose of reality that this is very competitive. And all I kept seeing on these nursing forums were people who had like a 3.8, 3.9 GPA getting in CRNA school. So when I first found out about that, that's when I put the brakes on it. I said, no, I'm not going to do it because I don't want to be, because I don't think I can get in. So I stopped researching CRNA and I went back to NP. I applied for 2 NP programs at schools here in South Florida. I offered interviews for 2, and then I turned them down. I was offered, and then I said, you know what? No, because I knew that NP was not for me. I just felt it wasn't for me. So I turned down the interview. So I was back to square one. And at that time, there was an opportunity to go to ICU, and I didn't take it because I didn't know what I wanted to do with my career. So by the time the second opportunity came on to ICU, I did more research, and I was reading this article by a committee member from a different school, a CRNA board committee member. He was saying, well, everybody have perfect GPAs and have ICU experience, but what else do you have? He was like, that's becoming so common that you need to have more things to stand out as an applicant for CRNA school as a candidate. So I started doing my research. So I knew what I had to do. Well, God showed me what to do. He gave me a plan. And so when the opportunity came again for ICU, I took it. And when I hit that floor in ICU, I just started putting things in order to do what I had to do in order to apply. and that's what I did. And I'm happy that I did it, because as far as I know right now, after shadowing, after taking that course I took this summer, going to that CRNA event, CRNA career, that is for me. That is for me. And you know what's so funny was what, there she is again. And what's so funny is that I was watching Blackish, and if you watch Blackish, you know Rainbow, the wife, she's the anesthesiologist. And so one day they were just talking in surgery, and the patient was like, why do I feel air on my abdomen? And she's like, oh, I forgot to push a propofol. And I started laughing, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to continue to do this. I'd rather try and fail than not try at all and wonder years later why didn't I do that. So that's why I chose CRNA. No, I'm not going to knock anybody who does NP or PA. You do whatever you feel is right for you. We all have our own paths, our own desires, and our own interests in life. So you do what is good for you, okay? That was just me and my reasoning for why I chose it. But if you guys have any questions down below, let me know. Any corrections, please let me know. I'm always open for corrections. So I will see you guys next time. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe if you want any more videos from me. Anything specific, let me know down below. And I will see you guys soon.